Hello, thanks for watching this Excella University video. My name is Thomas Strauss, and in this video I will be showing you the Launchpad, which is found on the Civic Platform main menu. This tool is your access point to just about everything you want to do in the Civic Platform. Any link you click within the Launchpad opens a new space where you can interact with the data you selected. I will show you the Launchpad features, which include new records, pages and favorites, and recently viewed data. Let's get started. Once you log into the Civic Platform, you're going to find the Launchpad in the main menu, which is the blue colored strip on the left side of your screen. And the icon for the Launchpad looks kind of like a waffle iron, and some refer to it as the waffle, but it's technically the Launchpad. So when you click on that, you're going to get a slide out, and I'm going to take you through the features that are found here, and we'll look at the Create New Record button, we'll look at the pages that you can access here, and we'll look at the recently viewed list. So let's start with Create New Record. There are three places in the system that you can initiate creating a new record in the back office. Now, some agencies may have all of their records coming from the Citizen portal, where citizens are submitting those online, or maybe you have a mix of some that come through ACA and others are created in the back office. So if you are creating records in the back office, this is one place where you can initiate that, create new record. You could also do that from the map dashboard as well. And also in the record space, there is a button there that allows you to initiate creating a new record. So this is one of three places where you could do that. If I click on the Create New Record, it opens up a record type filter page. And there are different groupings of records that could be expanded, and a record type could be selected, and then initiate the creating of that record. And there are different modules that could be selected, or using the search feature at the top. So this Create New Record opens up the record type filter, and that allows a user on the staff to begin creating a new record. Additionally, within the Launchpad, you have the Your Pages and All Pages sections. So let's look at the All Pages first. This is a list of all of the available pages, and they are grouped into different categories. The darker colored lettering, those are the categories, and the blue colored lettering, those are the pages. And as you hover over a page, you'll see that it's underlined. It's a link that when you click on it, it will open up that particular page. Now these are also referred to as spaces. So pages and spaces are the same thing, and we'll use those terms interchangeably throughout the video. So the pages that you see could be all the available pages for your agency, or they could be pages that are just available to you and your user group. So sometimes this list of pages is set up and configured specifically for the user group or the user that's logged in. So when you see this list here, it might look different than your list. And that's because I'm logged in as an administrator with fairly broad access to most, if not all, the pages. So in the list of all pages, you're going to notice that there are little stars next to each page or space. And that is so that you can star certain pages as favorites. And those pages will then appear in the Your Pages section just to the left of All Pages. So you can see that I have some of these that have been starred as my favorites, and they're going to show up under Your Pages. And then there's some additional things you can do in Your Pages with the specific list of pages that you need for your job. So you can go through here, select those that you're going to need, and the list again may be configured specific to your role. So for example, if I'm an inspector and I may not have anything to do with processing payments or taking payments, and yet you can see here that I can see that page. My user group permissions are what define whether I can actually access a page. So I may see the page here, but that doesn't mean I can necessarily access it and do anything with it. My user permissions defined by my user group would actually determine whether I can do anything there. One other thing to note on this All Pages section is there is a filter. So for example, if I'm looking for the activities page and I start typing in activity and I type in ACT, you can see that it isolates words that match. So for example, contacts, ACT at the end of contacts, I've got activities, task and activities. So you can use that filter to quickly get to a page, especially if you're working with a long list of spaces or pages. So as I mentioned, the starred pages show up under your pages. So we'll take a look at that. These pages that you see listed here are all of those that I have starred. Any of these can be rearranged into a different order. So you can drag and drop these into a different position based on where you want these to show. Additionally, any of these pages that you've set in the Your Pages and you've starred them could be selected as your default home page. So going back to my page as I see it currently, the task dashboard is my default. And that's what everyone starts with as their default home page. If you want a different page, one that you use the most or regularly, you want that to be your default home page, you can go into your Launchpad, go to Your Pages, and let's say I want the record space to be my default. If I hover my cursor over record, you can see that it's starred already. That's why it's under the Your Pages. There's also a little house or a home icon that if you click on that, it will not only open that space, but it will also pin it to the main menu. And you can see that under the horizontal white border, I have the record tile open and it has already been pinned and it's now my default home page. If I go back to the Launchpad, you can see that record has the little home house icon showing, indicating that it is my home page. So what would happen the next time that I log into the Civic platform, instead of seeing the task dashboard, which looks like this, I would see the record space as my default home page. So if you have a page that you would prefer as your default when you log in, it's fairly simple to take care of that. You need to go to All Pages, star the page so that it shows up in Your Pages. Then you can select the icon for home and that will designate it as your home page. The recently viewed list is also found here in the Launchpad. And you can see that it accumulates a list of recently opened data items. And this list is defaulted to 10 at a time. Your agency can configure that to be a different number. And so maybe you see up to 50 of the most recently opened data items. And that's an agency level configuration, so it can't be different per, say, user group or per module. So whatever that number is, you'll see that up to that number of data items recently opened. Now that could be records. Here I've got a contact, I've got a licensed professional, I've got an address, records that have been opened. So recently opened data items of all different types will show up here. And the benefit of this is that in some cases, it's possible that some of these data items you searched for, and maybe you used multiple criteria to locate and find a certain data item. And if you need to get back to that, rather than having to conduct the search again, you can simply use your recently viewed to get back to a previously opened data item. And it's a handy tool that eliminates needing to search yet again for something you need to get back to that you had open previously. So that's going to be it for this video. The features we looked at were the ability to create a new record in the back office from the Launchpad, how to select and favorite pages that you use in your job, and how to set a default home page other than the task dashboard. And finally, we looked at the recently viewed list for quick access to previously opened data items. Be sure to check out the other videos in this series, Navigating the Oxygen User Interface. Thanks for watching.